Welcome back to the show. My name is Jesse Coomer, and if you've not been here before, this is a place where we talk about breath work, we talk about health, wellness, mindset, philosophy, things that entertain us. Today's topic actually was suggested by you, so thank you to the people in the audience who are reaching out with questions and topics. This is an interesting topic, and I'm a little scared of approaching it because it's one that some people can be very opinionated about, but we're going to try to approach it with some tact. Actually, as a parent, this is something that you eventually kind of have to come to grips with. How am I going to have a relationship with my son or daughter, and will they be allowed to use swear words? So actually, I want to start off with a little story. Actually, this happened. So I am drinking some tea right now out of a mug. It says, "I do what I want," and it's got the cat flipping off. Yeah, there you can see it. The cat's flipping you off. I do what I want. And we were not parents whenever we had these, or whenever we were gifted these mugs. And we didn't think about removing them from our collection whenever we became parents. We just were like, okay. And for a long time, kids won't even notice this sort of stuff. But the other day, my son came up, he's 8 years old. He's like, and I think one of us was actually drinking our morning coffee out of this mug. And he came up, he's like, "Oh, I love that mug." And we're like, "Oh no." He's like, I do what I want, right? And he wasn't using the middle finger, he was using his index finger. He's like, "I love the cat's doing this and saying, I do what I want." "Yeah, honey." Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. And, we were like, well, maybe we should take this one out of circulation. But, it's a matter of, one of the reasons why swear words or dirty gestures are dirty gestures is because of the culture, right? The culture that you live in says this is unacceptable, or it's because, hey, that's referring to things that really are not appropriate to talk about in polite company. And, it's one of these issues where I remember there was a linguist, I forget who the linguist was, but he mentioned how he eventually learned that his parents, who did not condone using swear words as a family, they would swear with their friends. He would swear with his friends, but he realized they just couldn't swear together. And what the interesting thing is, swear words are kind of arbitrary. Like, why would we even make up a word if you can't say the word, right? So one of the interesting things about language is that all language is ultimately just made up stuff. Like, we've decided there's no reason why the word mug should be attached to this item. We've just agreed, okay, when we say that word in the English language, when we put those phonetics together, that is the word or the sound that goes along with this thing. And so swear words are kind of interesting in that they are, there can be two words that mean exactly the same thing, but one of them is, seen as a naughty word. The other one is seen as, well, it's okay. I think the best example in the English language, there was, in the year 1066, there was this thing called the Norman invasion. So the Norman invasion, we had this major change in the language of the island of Britain, right? So where English was spoken, the land of the Anglos, right? England, right? And so Anglo-Saxon was the dominant language before, and then here comes the Normans bringing French. And so from 1066 to, I think it was like the 1400s, sometime in there, French was the dominant language amongst the upper class, the people who, they were the movers and the shakers, the rich people, the people with power. That was the language that you had to speak in order to be refined society. And it became a thing where if you spoke Anglo-Saxon, the Anglo-Saxon words were seen as dirty, lesser than, So for instance, Anglo-Saxon, we would have the word swine, right? Swine. And from the French, we would get the word pig, right? So it just feels cleaner. It's the same thing, right? but this is the reason why one seems less dirty or derogatory. Like if someone called you a pig, that's not a compliment, I get that. But if they called you swine, isn't that a little bit worse, right? Well, the reason for that is because, at least in English, it was a matter of your place in society. We use these words because we are good people and we're important, we have power, and then the people down here, they use those words, and that's how you can tell who the refined people are and the not so refined people are. For instance, the word shit, right? Shit is from Anglo-Saxon, right? It comes from Germanic roots. Manure. Oh, it just rolls off the tongue. It's just like silk, right? It's from the French, right? Both of them are English words now. But for instance, my parents I live in an agricultural area, and they fertilize with cow manure, right? And I've known about that since I was a kid. What's that awful smell? Oh, it's just the manure, right? They could have used the word shit, but they didn't, right? So the words we tend to use sometimes are signalers of our place in society, and it's been that way for a long time. And so that is one of the reasons why I think that we hesitate to want to teach our kids curse words or swear words, because we want them to, hey, I want you to be someone who is aim high, don't go straight to the bottom as fast as you can, right? And I think there's a certain degree of, even like, okay, I swear, I swear that I swear, I swear that I swear that I swear. But I try to, I can switch that off. I think if a person just has to swear every other word, that's a weakness, right? If you really can't control how you speak, there's a weakness there in that it's something that you literally can't think of any other way to say something than to use a vulgarity, a specific kind of word. But having mastery over the language, okay, now you can use whatever. You can switch to the code. Yeah, maybe I'm at whatever so-and-so's church. I'm not going to use swear words because I am trying to be kind. I'm not wanting to go in and offend people and be a jerk. I respect other people's sensibilities. So now on the other hand, the middle finger, digitus impunicus, as it was referred to by the Romans. Like this one goes back to, actually it goes back to ancient Greek as far as like the writing, as far as like the history of the middle finger. So we can find it in some of the Greek, like the plays, right? So the middle finger, you would give the middle finger, and it meant the same thing back then that it means today, right? And so it was used in Rome, it's still thousands of years later means exactly the same thing. And hey, it's not in a language. It's a very human thing. It's interesting because the tendency toward wanting to move outside of maybe the accepted things that society will accept, that's what ultimately is at the heart of swear words, of vulgarities. Because we know that you can pretty much say the exact same thing without using certain words or phrases. You can say the exact same thing, right? And I, as a kid, whenever I was around my cousins and they knew my parents didn't cuss, but they did cuss at their home, they would say they were amazing craftsmen at getting around the swear words. I mean, there was the dang and the craps and, every possible thing that was almost a curse word, almost just right on the line, they would get right to that point. And then because, their parents didn't want them cursing around my parents, they wouldn't cross the line. Like when I was growing up, you didn't have swear words on TV. Like they were all beeped out, or they were not written in. If you wanted to put it on television, you couldn't have that. Now, on syndicated television, I think you can say everything now. Like, not everything. There are certain things that you can't say that are outside of the social mores now. But they are the funny thing is that goalpost has moved. So the typical, George Carlin's, what is it, the 7 deadly swear words? I forget exactly what George Carlin, but all the different ones are not really the ones that you can't say on TV anymore. So as I look to my kid and say, okay, this is how you can speak, this is how you can't speak, and hey, I slip up now and then too. We all do. It's interesting. So I want you to tell me, when it comes to boundaries and language, how does that work in your home? Maybe it's kind of like marijuana, right? So marijuana used to be just as illegal as every other drug. And we're like, okay, no, this one's okay now. The other ones are still forbidden, right? So maybe it's like, okay, ass is the marijuana. Ass is kind of the marijuana of the curse words, isn't it? Like, it's in the Bible, right? The ox and the ass were sleeping. I remember being in the Christmas pageants as a kid, and the ox and the ass are sleeping. And that's a terrible rendition of, what is that, Silent Night, I think. So ass, okay, that one, it's like, okay, you kind of get a pass on that one. Bitch is another one because, it's not nice to say because it's like, okay, that's a female dog. And then there's bastard, where it's like, okay. So there's this gradient growing up where a few of them kind of edged in, what words are off? I don't know if this is a good idea for YouTube. What words are off limits? Maybe don't put those words. Maybe put the words that, maybe if you've green lighted a few of them, right? You've decriminalized a few words for your kids. What are those words? And hey, if you don't have any kids, what do you think you would do? What do you think is acceptable? What do you think is not acceptable? I'd love to know your opinions. Guys, let's go do some breath work. I want to do some breath work. Let's go over to the studio. I want to take you through a exercise, do some language of breath together. We're chilling, we're having a fun time, we're relaxing. Grab yourself a little tea, have a swig, meet me over at the studio. Let's get started. Hey, welcome back to the studio. Here we are, my friend, it's just me and you. And I want to take you through a pretty cool language of breath style exercise. You'll notice, it's interesting, you'll notice in language of breath, it's all exercises. There's some techniques like sniff, sniff, poo. But I didn't invent, and not to mention, I guess I didn't invent breath work or any of this stuff. I just came up with different ways of looking at it and ways of utilizing it. I didn't even come up with I didn't coin sniff, sniff, poo. I wish I had, but I didn't actually coin sniff, sniff, poo. I really wish I had. That was Dan Brule. I heard Dan Brule call it sniff, sniff, poo one time, and my life was forever changed. So thank you, Dan Brule. So tonight what we're going to be doing is a really simple session, but something that can have really profound impact. And so make sure you are in a comfortable place, some place where you're safe, and you're safe. It's not like you could technically do this on the bus, but it's nice to do it like here. I'm in the studio, we're here in the studio, we're just hanging out, we're just relaxing. So what I want you to do is close your eyes, and we're really going to use that sense of internal awareness. And if you've been following along, if you've read my book, if you've taken my course, all those things, language of breath is yes, breath is part of it, but the more important part of it is internal awareness, interoception, okay? So what we're gonna do is I'd like you to really just close your eyes, maybe take a nice deep full breath, tracing your awareness from your feet all the way up to your head as you do that. And then as you exhale, maybe just relax and bring that awareness from your head down to your feet. And keep doing that just a few times. Nice, slow, not circular breathing, just take a minute between each breath. Really focus. We're not trying to do anything crazy here. We're just really becoming aware of ourselves. So deep breath in. Awareness should be up in your head. Right now, we're holding our breath, and we're going to relax it out with a sound like this. Nice, nice. We call these blissful apneas. I did coin that phrase. All right, deep breath in, all the way in. Tracing your awareness up as you inhale all the way up. And hold your breath, keeping your awareness up in your head. And then make any sound you like as you exhale, but I'm going to make this sound. I like that sound. It's my favorite sound. You can make whatever, hey, we're having fun. You can sing if you want to. Let's take another one, pulling the awareness from your feet all up to your head. Deep breath in, nice and slow. No need to go any faster than you can bring your awareness, okay? So sometimes people just insist on going really fast. That is, that's not the goal, right? Take some time, Come on, Romeo. It'll be over too fast. I'm sorry, kids, I'm sorry. I don't know, I used code words there too. Anyway, deep breath in, bring it from the feet all the way up to the head. Holding up in the head, and then let it go with any sound you like. All right, great. So what I want you to do, eyes closed, just go into normal breathing for just a moment. And I want you to think of whatever is going on this coming week. Maybe it's tomorrow. Is there something that you're a little bit worried about? Or maybe it's causing you a little bit of anxiety, anything like that. I want you to think about it. And then as you have that in your thoughts, I want you to observe where physical sensations come up, because there are going to be, even if they're subtle, there's going to be some physical sensations that accompany that thought. And when you start thinking about it, okay, where is it? And you can point to that place. You maybe put your hand over it to help you keep that place, and that's fine. So whatever you need to do to make sure that you're holding that spot. I like to put my hand sometimes over it. And what we're going to do now is we're going to bring our awareness really into that place. So bring your awareness underneath your hand and go maybe to the center of that place. So if, like right now, I've got it in my abdomen, you can have it in your shoulder, wherever it is, it doesn't matter. And what I want you to do is bring your awareness there. Now, do not, okay, I'm going to open my eyes just so I can emphasize this, but I want you to stay eyes closed, putting your awareness in that place. Do not try to feel what you think you're supposed to feel, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to feel whatever it is that you actually feel. Whatever you actually feel in that place. And it might not be much. Okay, you may need to, this is something we have to develop. We have to learn the skill of interoception, really how to use that internal sense of awareness. So it's okay if you don't notice a whole lot. Some of you will notice a lot, some of you won't. Keep practicing, keep working on it, you'll get it. But whenever you're starting to feel something, just try to become aware of its qualities. Is there a shape associated with it? Is there maybe a texture, or what are you noticing in that place? And what I want you to do, as you are just observing that place, I want you to breathe in and out through that place. So just kind of pretend that area is an area that you can breathe in and out through. Okay, so inhale and exhale. Okay, keep going. Inhale and exhale. Continue to stay really aware of that place. Keep inhaling and exhaling. Just become aware of it. And now with every breath in, I want you to invite in relaxation to that place. With every breath out, I want you to imagine that you're exhaling tension or whatever it is that's built up there, anything maybe that doesn't belong there. Okay, I've got my eyes closed. You should have your eyes closed too. Breathing in relaxation into that place. Breathing out any kind of stress, anxiety, allowing it to come out of that place. Just in and out, nice full breaths in, relaxed breaths out, in and out through your nose. Keep going. You're doing great. Keep going. And just observe how you feel. How does this change the way you feel? You're inviting in relaxation into that place. You're allowing yourself to exhale out of that place. And with every exhale, you're just letting whatever it is, kind of letting it pour out with that breath. Keep going. You might feel lightheaded, you might feel dizzy, it's okay. Just make sure you're not doing this driving or any place where you could fall over. Just keep going. I'm talking, I'm not gonna continue to do this and talk because that won't be possible. You're doing great. Continue on. Just inviting in goodness, inviting in relaxation, safety with every inhale, and just allowing every exhale to be an opportunity of just getting rid of whatever it is you need to get rid of. Don't even have to name it. You know, just let it be an opportunity to relax even more. All right, now we're going to take one last deep breath, fully in, all the way in. Bringing your awareness up to your head, and then I want you to hold your breath with full lungs and then smile. And then I want you to exhale, but exhale making whatever sound you want to make. If you yawn, you yawn. That's okay. It just means you're relaxed. Deep breath in, all the way in. Hold, bringing your full awareness to your face and smile. And relax it out with any sound you like. One last time. Deep breath in, all the way in, pulling your awareness up to your head. Hold. Smile. And let it go with any sound you like. Now, stay in this moment. You don't have to get up. You don't have to do anything. In fact, if you want to just press pause so that the next video doesn't come up and then all the commercials and stuff like that, you can do that as well. Give yourself a little bit of time. This is your time. Whatever it was that was bothering you, whatever you're worried about, just understand that you are capable. Understand that all anxiety, all stress ever is just energy coming from a place within you that loves you. And feel free to come back to this exercise anytime you like, especially whenever maybe you're anxious about something. Allowing yourself to invite that happiness back into this team that is you, this beautiful, amazing team. All right. Thanks so much for hanging out with me here on the show. If you like what we do, feel free to join the Patreon club. And of course, like, share, all those other things. But most importantly, don't forget to go out there and be kind to one another.